When did you have to choose between a beautiful lie and an ugly truth? My mom and aunt told me I had just 24 hours to decide if I should tell my dying grandmother that grandpa had passed away protecting her, or let her go on believing he had abandoned her for another woman. The doctor said she had maybe 2 weeks left, and she kept asking when Grandpa Harold would come visit. Mom cried because Grandma had been cursing his name for 3 years, while my aunt insisted that telling her the truth would only crush her. They both turned to me because I had power of attorney, and we couldn't stall any longer. I had been torn over the same question ever since the night of the break-in, when I held my grandpa's hand as he died. On one hand, Grandma deserved to know Harold gave his life protecting her instead of believing he ran off with a younger woman from the bank. For 3 years, she wrote him letters that began with, "I'm sorry I got old." She put on red lipstick every morning, even when she could barely breathe, just to look nice in case he returned. Mom once caught her saving half her meals in case Harold came back hungry. She even lost 30 pounds, convinced she wasn't pretty enough for him anymore. But on the other hand, maybe the truth would only destroy her. Her brain had erased that horrible night for a reason. The neurologist said reminding her could break her completely. My aunt had seen it firsthand. The one time a nurse slipped and mentioned that Grandpa was dead, Grandma cried so hard she had a small stroke. When she woke up, she went straight back to being angry at him for leaving, and that anger seemed to give her strength. Maybe grief would have finished her. Then I found something on Grandpa's old phone, a video recording from that night. He must have turned the camera on by accident. After the intruders left, while he was bleeding out, the phone picked up his last words. He spoke to Grandma, who was unconscious beside him. "Helen, baby, please wake up. I need to tell you something important," he whispered, struggling to breathe. "If I don't make it, you're going to forget what happened tonight. That's okay, because your beautiful mind always protects you. But you might think I left you. Baby, I would never leave you, not in a million years. I love you more than my own heartbeat. If you forget everything else, just remember, Harold loves Helen forever, like we carved on that oak tree in 1962. The recording ended with the sound of sirens approaching. That's when I realized Grandpa already knew her mind would erase the memory to protect her. He had tried to plant one truth deep enough to survive their love. So I chose to tell her. His final wish was to make sure she knew he never left her, and I couldn't let that die with him. I practiced all night, writing down his words so I wouldn't forget a single one. The next morning, my hands were shaking as I walked into her room with that paper. But when she woke up clear-minded, I told her, Grandpa died protecting her, and his last words were, "Harold loves Helen forever." She stared at me for a long moment, then said softly, "I know, baby. I dream about him saying that every night." That's when I realized her sleeping mind had held onto his words, even when her waking mind could not. Over the next 3 days, we reminded her 6 times. Each time, she cried, but always said, "That sounds like something my Harold would do." The 3rd time, I played the recording for her. She pressed the phone to her chest and whispered, "There's my Harold." By the 5th time, she said, "I wasted 3 years being angry when I could have just been missing him." I told her that sometimes anger is just love with nowhere to go. The last time I told her, she was barely conscious. But when I whispered Harold's words, "I love you forever," she smiled and whispered back, "I always knew he'd never leave me." Then she said something that broke me. "Tell him I'll be right there. Tell him Helen loves Harold forever too." 2 hours later, she passed away, looking more peaceful than I'd seen her in years. Mom said at least Grandma died knowing the truth. Aunt said maybe forgetting was also a gift because she got to fall in love with him 7 times. And I realized Grandpa had spent his final breath planting one last memory deep inside her heart. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.